Hi, I'm Tyson Franklin, and welcome back to Podiatry Marketing. And with me is Big Jim Mack, and this is our 100th episode. Jim, how you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. I'm super excited to celebrate 100 fantastic episodes with you today. Boy, the time flies.
It does, and we have an audience, and they are cheering our 100th episode. Everyone's okay, everyone. We need you to sit back down. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thanks for coming. And it's nice to have you all here. So, Jim, our 100th episode, can you believe it?
Yeah, I can't believe it's hard to believe it's already been close to 2 years, 100 episodes. Here's to 100 or 1,000 more, we'll see. But no, it's been fun so far.
So what are we going to talk about today? I know what we're going to talk about today, but I'll let you introduce it.
Yeah, so today's a special episode. We don't have one singular topic. What we're going to do is we're going to go over the top 10 most downloaded episodes from our 100 episodes. So yeah, we're going to start off at number 10 and work our way down to number 1.
Oh, okay. So we're going to start at 10 and we're going to go down to what has been the most popular one. Okay, this will be interesting. So what was number 10?
So number 10 is invest in solutions versus pay for services.
That sounds like a gym topic.
Yeah, this sounds like a gym topic. I think there's a lot of Tyson topics in this top 10, but this is number 10 is me. And this is one where we really jumped into kind of the perception of marketing and podiatry and healthcare in general. A lot of people will see, oh, I need blogs. Oh, I need social media. Oh, I need this service. And let's just figure out what my budget is. And I'm just going to pay that. And then I don't have to think about it, either paying someone on your staff to do it or paying someone at a marketing agency or consultant like myself to do it for you. But really, when people, podiatrists and people in healthcare, think about marketing, what they should be thinking about is more of something we talked about in previous episodes of our show, is that you have to be thinking about a long-term strategy and how to implement that over time. And so, like any investment you make, you want to invest in the success of things over a long period of time. And you're looking for solving problems, not just like having services, but why. What is the why behind you're doing the marketing? Is it to see a specific type of patient? Is it to increase the volume? Is it to eliminate certain types of care or treatments from your clinic? Is it to get more of certain types of things? When episode number 10 was really about digging into that, invest in solutions versus pay for services, the way some podiatrists kind of view marketing and the services provided.
Okay, and what episode number was that?
So that was number 10.
I know that was 10
number
ranked. Yeah, what was the episode number?
I'd have to go back. I don't have it right in front of me here. So
you don't have it in front of me. Let me see if I can find it. I just thought that way people listen to it and they go, oh, yeah, that sounds really good. I wonder what episode that was. Oh, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That, I don't know. Yeah, there we go. Won't worry about that. Okay, let's get back onto the show. I'll edit that out. Yeah, it doesn't have what the episode number was, but that's fine.
It doesn't, no.
I could look on my list, but then it's too hard.
Okay. But I can also repeat the name of the episode. So the name of the episode, if you want to Google it or look it up, invest in solutions versus pay for services.
Okay. What's number 9?
Number 9 is do less and do it better.
That sounds like my title.
Definitely.
And that particular episode, and the good part is I don't have any notes in front of me while talking about this, but I just know the topics. And I remember when I did that episode, it was more about a lot of times people, they keep wanting to add more services. They go off and do more training and they do different things and they just keep wanting to add more and add more into their business. But sometimes to bring more in, sometimes you've got to let something go. And I think sometimes you've got to look at your practice and think, do you need to be doing everything or should you be doing less or offering less services, but just doing them so much better than what everybody else is doing them? So I know there's a lot of podiatry clinics around now that have Swift machines for doing wart treatment. I would have no interest at all in doing that. But if there was a podiatry clinic that did have one, I would contact them and say, can I send my wart patients to you because I don't want to do them? Now, that podiatry clinic, if they know that all of a sudden they can market themselves as being the wart place, and they should really focus on that and get really good at it and become the best in town at doing that. And then don't worry about running off and doing dry needling or doing foot mobilization or doing some other course thinking, oh, we just got to keep adding all these services. Have less services, but get really good at those things before. But then if you want to do more, you can do more. But just get really good at doing a few things first before moving on to a lot more. So that was all about doing less and doing it better.
Yeah, I think providing a high level of care and a few things is much better than trying to be all things to all people. So yeah, I really enjoyed not only that episode, but the kind of overall concept. It's definitely something I relate to. I could market all types of different things, but and you could probably coach different types of business owners along with podiatry. But you and I live by this one as well. We stick with podiatry.
I had somebody ask me that the other day. They said, "How come you don't just do other health professionals as well?" They said you could quite easily do it. Everybody else helps all the others. Okay, and that's why I don't want to do coaching for physios or optometrists or anything. I just don't want to do that. I want to do podiatry. But I can understand why some people don't just do podiatry, because a lot of podiatrists don't want to do coaching either. The physios and chiropractors do.
No, for sure. But I think it helps you have a clear, more direct message too. Like we're talking to podiatrists, right? People listen to our show. I'm sure the majority of people are the podiatrist or maybe their office manager or someone in their office. So when you focus on providing a certain type of care in a similar way, then you can really speak to those patients and they'll feel heard when you send out different types of messaging to them. So I really liked that topic that was number 9. So if you're looking for number 9, once again, do less and do it better. So off to number 8, which is
yes.
I'm gonna butcher the name again. The Zygarnik Effect, the open loop technique.
Zygarnik Effect.
Yeah, Zygarnik Effect.
Zygarnik. The Zygarnik Effect, or the open loop technique. And it's pretty much about you're telling a story, or you're giving information, but you don't close off the loop. So instead of saying to a patient, "Hey, I've got 3 exercises for you. 1, 2, 3. See you next week." Now they already know the 3 exercises. That doesn't really mean anything to them. But if you say, it's all about you say, "Hey, there's 4 exercises. There's 3 exercises that we need to go through. Now I'm going to show you how to do this. Now I also want you to do this one. When you come back next week, or go to that 3rd one, because that ties everything together." And that's leaving an open loop. It's like when people will tell a story, and they'll comedians do this really well. They'll tell a story, and then all of a sudden they'll tell a side story, which will go off, but eventually they loop back to the original one. And some people see the frustrated, go, "I need to know the answer." And not so much movies, but TV shows. Tune in next week to find out, does little Johnny get saved by his pet kangaroo? That type of thing. That was on Skippy the Bush Kangaroo.
Sometimes, have you ever seen the movie Inception?
Yes.
So that has a bit of an open loop at the end. It leaves you, there's 2 ways you can interpret the ending there, right? But yeah, it's a little bit different than what you want to provide a patient. But yeah, definitely.
And some people know that, like, they know when they watch a movie or something, and sometimes it's not, like American movies have a habit of, they need to tidy up every loose end and make people feel warm and fuzzy at the end. Sometimes all of a sudden you'll see the hero come walking through the smoke at the end, and they hug, and then the children come running up, and you're a hero. But sometimes the movie just ends and people go, "Did they make it or not?" I assume they probably did, but did they? And that's what the open loop thing's all about. It's just leaving, not tidying everything up, leaving something open, which creates tension, creates suspense, but it'll also get your patients coming back the following week.
Yeah, that adding that kind of giving them a little bit of expectation, or having them want more information, or it will keep them more engaged in the next visit. So I definitely like that topic. And
there's a lot more to that too. Yeah, if people like the idea of that, go and look up the Zygarnik Effect and read a bit more about it. It was a psychologist that who Zygarnik is, but go and read more on it. It is actually really interesting, and it also explains why some people get stressed out at their work and other things. So it's an important topic. Okay, what was that? It was 9, 8. Oh, we did 10, 9, 8. What's 7?
Yeah, so we are actually on number 7 is the top 5 things to learn before starting a private practice. So this is mine, and we went over like those 5 different areas for people just Maybe someone is fresh out of residency, wants to start their practice, or maybe they've been working in a practice themselves. And what are some of those steps you need to take? And the first one was like basically doing some general business and financial planning. What's your budget going to be? Where are you going to be located at? Do you have a business plan? Just securing the right insurance and kind of planning for the growth of the practice is that first step. Second step is legal and regulatory requirements. What can you do with podiatry where you're based at, right? Was there, when it comes to credentialing, licensure, health laws, malpractice insurance, getting those kind of legal and regulatory requirements figured out is really important. Also, number 3 was practice management. That's really critical for success. How are you going to hire the right staff, implement efficient processes, schedule patients? What is that kind of like daily routine within the practice going to be like? The fourth part was networking and referral relationships, would that be internal healthcare professional referrals, external with the medical community, maybe it's in the private business community. And then last but not least, like how are you going to acquire patients? How are you going to market yourself? And what do you want to stand out for to attract patients to your practice? Yeah, that was a quick kind of overview of that, kind of 5 things you need to learn before starting a private practice. It was our number 7 topic, and definitely look that one up if that's something you're interested in.
Yeah, and there are solid 5 things that people should be looking at. And like you said, you could do the top 50 things you should do for your business, but those 5 were definitely 5 big ones.
Yeah. So we'll jump to number 6 now. This is a Tyson topic, that developing micro pillars within your 8 pillars, or the 6, is it the 6 pillars of marketing?
6 pillars. Come on, Jim.
My eyes are getting a little tough here.
Yeah, so micro pillars, yeah. So developing, so I always talk about the 6 pillars of marketing: professional referrers, non-professional, internal marketing, external marketing, verbal marketing, and online marketing. So these 6 pillars. Then, but within each pillar, there's what I call micro pillars. So it's a whole pile of little pillars that make up. So when you're looking at the 6 pillars, the reason why 6 pillars are better than 4 pillars, if you think of the roof of a building, if you've got 6 pylons holding it, and if one pillar falls down, the other 5 are going to hold it up. If you only have 4 and one gets knocked down, there's a chance it's going to tumble over. The more marketing pillars you have, the better. Then within each of those pillars, the more little micro pillars you have, and I picture it in my head almost like all the little individual strands that make up rope. And if you have a look at rope closely, you'll see there's a lot of those little strands start to break. But if a couple of them do break, the integrity of the rope, though, is still intact. And that's what I look at with micro pillars. So you might have, say, in professional referrers, you might have physiotherapists, chiropractors, dietitians, general practitioners. They're all micro pillars, but you can go even deeper with your physiotherapist. How many physiotherapists? Are there 2 physios that refer to you, or are there 15 physios? If 10 physios stop referring to you, or if all the physios stop referring to you because all of a sudden they found out podiatry is better than physiotherapy and they don't want to refer anymore, then you don't need to worry, because you've still got your GPs, your chiropractors, your dietitians. They are the extra pillars. So within every pillar, try and find as many referral sources within each pillar. So if one micro pillar breaks, the rest of them will keep the integrity of that pillar.
That makes sense.
It does. Okay, what's number 5?
Number 5 is how trust grows your reputation and practice. I believe this was me.
It has to be. I can tell by the topic names.
So we jumped into what are the things you can actually do to grow trust with patients, because I think that's really the foundation of everything we do as podiatrists, as healthcare providers, and really needs to translate into your marketing. So the first thing that people can do when you're in practice is provide excellent care. Because no matter how great your marketing is, your advertising, if you're not providing excellent care to your patients, there's really nothing you can do that, to for lack of a better term, like polish a turd.
So you can probably say, yeah, you can put sprinkles on the turd, but it's still a turd.
You can't polish it. It's also like, how do you treat people? Like, how does your staff treat people? When people walk into your practice, when you establish that rapport with the patient, is that kind of like the first step towards building trust, or is it going to lead to negative interactions in the future? And really, communication is hugely important with this, right? So you have to communicate with patients. Communicating with your staff about how to communicate with patients is really important. And also, you have to maintain a professional demeanor, right? Not everything is going to go perfectly in your practice, but you have to maintain professional demeanor about how you treat people. Even if someone disagrees with you, like how do you handle disagreements, either with your staff or with patients? That's really important. And also by providing patient education and good, thorough follow-up of your patients is a great way to continue to build long-term trust. If you're just having someone come in for one visit and then just write them a script and then see me PRN, like you're not going to build trust and relationship over time. You really have to take into account educating patients, helping them see that you're a valuable and vital part of their improvement along with their own actions. But getting that follow-up care can be hugely impactful to really basically growing that trust of your reputation and of your practice.
Yeah, I'd say when it comes to relating with your patients, trust is the key. And if you break a patient's trust, it's really hard to earn it back. So it's something that when you first meet a patient, you slowly want to build that trust over a period of time. And once they do trust you, you want to make sure you maintain that trust as well. So that was a good topic.
Yeah. Off to number 4. This is going to be the murderer's row of Tyson topics here. But the number 4 is 13 things you would do differently.
Ooh, I remember this one. I don't remember the 13. I can't remember what
That's okay.
were.
They don't want to hear them all.
But
just give us the overview.
The overview of it was you're sitting in your practice and all of a sudden, now what's funny about this was all based on this is reality is what really happened. And I've seen this happen a few times. I remember when I was on the Gold Coast, I don't know if I said this in the podcast or not, but this just flashed into my head. When I was on the Gold Coast, there were 2 businesses opening up directly opposite the road to each other, 60 feet apart. It's just a 2-lane road. Both businesses are opened up. You could tell, they're both like medical type things, but you didn't know what they were. You just tell by the way the car park was getting done. And they're both houses that were being converted. And this one particular day, the signs went up at the same day, the big unveiling, and they were both chiropractors. Directly across the road. One was like 48 Bayview Street, and the other one was like 45 Bayview Street. And I looked at it and went, that is hilarious. But anyway, here in Cairns, where my old clinic was, and I sold it to a corporate group, another podiatrist bought the building across the road, or just up from it, we can see each other, and they've set up a really nice podiatry clinic there. So this whole thing was, the 13 things what you would do differently is, if a podiatrist moved into town straight across the road from you, what would you do differently? When you think of your actual business, would you reach out and contact your patients, your current referrers? Would you make sure you've got you really have a good relationship with them? We list through 13 things that you would do differently if a competitor opened up across the road. And this happens more often than people would think.
It seems like a great opportunity to leave an open loop for them to go and listen to the podcast.
Definitely. This is definitely an open loop. Go and listen to that episode, because there's 13 things there that we came up with. And part of this too is I did this talk with a group, and this was some feedback that there was other podiatrists giving me feedback on what they would do differently. And even though people go, but that won't happen. It happens all the time. It may not be across the road, but it'll be in your suburb. It'll be in the next suburb. There's podiatrists opening up all the time. So if they opened up across from you, what would you do differently? And thing is, if you do that differently, if they opened up across the road, why aren't you doing it already? That's the key to that episode.
Very good. Very good.
Listen to it. Hoo-hoo. That was a good one.
All right, we're into the top 3 now. I don't know if you give a little drum roll here, but how micro storytelling can improve the patient-physician relationship. This is
what was that one again?
For sure.
What was that?
How micro storytelling can improve the patient-physician relationship.
Yes. Okay. And what I meant by this particular episode was, a lot of people, I will say to them, I'm always surprised how many podiatrists, you go to their personal profiles on Facebook and there's nothing about podiatry. It's like they don't want to tell anyone they're a podiatrist. And then you go to their podiatry pages and it's only really boring podiatry stuff that they put there. They never share anything about themselves. And the number one comment I get from people is, I like to keep my personal life and my business life separate. And I'm like, they're the same. It's still part of your life. To me, you should be proud that you're a podiatrist, and all your friends should know about it. And all your patients should know a little bit about you. so they get to know that you're not a monster. You're a human being. You're a parent. You're a husband. You're a wife. You're someone's child. And people go, oh, but I don't. And I'm not saying take a photo of your house and give everybody your address. That's not what I'm talking about. It's all about micro storytelling. Is you divulge little bits about yourself over a period of time so that your patients feel like they know who you are without really divulging exactly who you are. And the perfect example of this is if anyone's ever watched CSI or Law and Order or any of those things, you pick a main character and they don't just dump everything about that main character on the first episode. On the first episode, you might find out they've been a police officer for 20 years. That's all you know. And then there's got whatever story went on. A couple of episodes later, you find out, oh, they're married. Oh, they've got children. Oh, they used to play baseball. Oh, they played football as well at school, but didn't end up getting was going to go pro, but did their knee. So you learn that they divulge a little bit about them over seasons. So at the end of a decade of watching a particular show, if I said, hey, tell me about Detective Stabler, who was a character in Law and Order, SUV, Special Victims Unit, SVU, Special Victim, no, SUV, that's a car. And sorry. But if I said, tell me all about him, I could tell you about his whole life, but I really don't know the person. Right. This is what micro storytelling is. You create the narrative. My patients would know that I like hamburgers. My patients would know I like the UFC and martial arts. Now, they wouldn't know at what level of martial arts I ever did. They wouldn't know how many hamburgers I actually eat. But they know enough about me, so they feel like they really know me. For sure. Without knowing my address, knowing the date of birth of my daughter, knowing what school she goes to. You don't want them in your life. When I'm turning up when you've got a barbecue happening and they just rock through your front gate, that's not what I'm talking about. But it's letting enough information about you so they feel like they're connected with you. Because if they see you eating a hamburger with your family, then they go, oh, he's a family man. I'm a family man. He likes hamburgers. I like hamburgers. Oh, he follows the Sydney Roosters, which everyone should, but not everyone does. But they realize, oh, he likes the rugby league as well. Oh, I like rugby league, or I like sport. So you start relating to people when you tell them a story.
There you go. That was number 3, how micro storytelling can improve the patient-physician relationship. So Now off to number 2 and the last topic for Tyson, fitting in more ideal patients into your podiatry practice.
Yeah, this is really just sitting and working out who your ideal patient is for starters. What do you want more of? Then going through your schedule and making sure you block out time so those patients can get in. And I've had people where they've said, oh, I did this particular marketing thing and it didn't work. I go, oh, okay, that surprises me because I've done this with 5 other people and it worked really well. And then this is where I now will have them have a phone sheet there or some sheet that it's not that the people didn't call up from that marketing that they did. It's just the people called up and they couldn't get an appointment because they were booked out 4 weeks clipping toenails or just general foot care. And I'm going, so you want more runners, but when that running person rings up Monday, they can't get an appointment. So it's all about finding out who your ideal patient is and then putting sections in your schedule so that these people can get an appointment and you can also follow them up, but knowing at a certain point when to then fill those appointments with other stuff if it can't be filled. So it's a real timing, it's a scheduling thing, and it's something that people need to be shown and taught how to do it. So if anyone wants to learn more about doing this, I tell you, and your business profits go through the roof when you can actually do this the right way, reach out to me.
Yeah, it's a real practical exercise, right? It's figure out what you want to do and then practically figure out how you can do it in your clinic without, like you said, a lot of people will say they want to do it, but they have to take that extra step to actually make it happen. So I think they should definitely reach out to you. Yeah.
That's the part that people don't get. It is so easy to do. And people go, oh, but I couldn't do it. I'm booked out 6 weeks ahead. Great. I don't care if you're booked out 3 months ahead. It's still really easy. They tell themselves they can't do it, so they don't do it. Oh, so let's get down to number 1, which just pipped. There's no doubt that this one wasn't going to be number 1. This was a gym topic, but
it was a gym topic, but it's like the topic of 2023.
It's a world topic.
Exactly. So number one is ChatGPT and Podiatry, automating administrative tasks. And what else did I say there? And improving patient experience.
I think you could have just put ChatGPT and it would have done just as well.
No, this is definitely a topic I think a lot of people are thinking about now, and how AI and generative AI is going to affect clinical practice, right? Whether it be documentation, writing notes for surgery, writing notes for a clinic, evaluating wounds. We all have high definition cameras on our phones now. Just this AI and how it's going to change the computation and the kind of machine learning that happens with AI is going to really transform different aspects of our life, and podiatry is one of them. So I think it's important to, and we'll have some more podiatry marketing podcasts on this topic in the future. But what are those ways right now that we went over initially? I guess it was back in March, so it's been a little while. Back in January, actually, when we published it.
I just had a look then. It was January that we did it.
Yeah, so
I thought it was longer.
Yeah, so it's been like, I guess, 9 months. So we probably are due for an update in a future episode. But just really, we talked to some of the basics about what ChatGPT is, some ways of using it initially, but will definitely be a topic we touch base on, because there's been some improvements over time. We've gone from ChatGPT 3 to 3.5, now to 4 if you are on the paid plan for ChatGPT. And there's, outside of ChatGPT, there's a lot of other different software applications, whether it be graphic design or ways of marketing your practice, can be really improved by utilizing these kind of different AI technologies. So we'll definitely touch base on some of them. And I know that Tyson's been digging into some of the stuff as well. So we're excited to bring you some more of this stuff in the future.
I will admit it, when you first spoke about ChatGPT, like in January, and I'd heard a little bit about it and I'd played with it a tad, but didn't really know too much about it. But I tell you, every time I get an email, there, it's every third email, someone's trying to sell me something about training on ChatGPT, and ChatGPT seems to be the one that everyone's talking about. But there was another one. Well, we're not going to talk about it now. I reckon we should do like a series, about 3 or 4 episodes, where we just pick on some AI programs that people can actually use to improve their marketing.
Yeah, definitely. We'll figure out a nice little series we can introduce folks to it, but also provide some real specific advice about how to use it and how it can benefit their practices.
Sounds good. Okay, that's our top 10. Hang on, I know everyone's standing up again. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thanks for that. Yep, that's really good. And I know some people, it's that one, like that.
There you go.
This is, if people listen to these episodes and they apply what they learn, this is what they'll hear every day. That's what they'll hear in their business.
No, Tyson, thanks a lot for the first 100. It's been a lot of fun. There's been a lot of ups, a few downs, but you and I were keeping it steady with the Podiatry Marketing Podcast. It's been a pleasure to partner with you so far, and I can't wait to see where we continue to take this. So
it has been fun, Jim. And when we first started this, you were just Jim McDonald. Now you're Big Jim Mac.
Yeah.
So yeah,
world famous.
I'm still Tyson. Okay, so I look forward to talking to you next week for 101.
Sounds great, Tyson.
Okay, talk to you later. Bye.
Bye.